Okay, let me go back on the record. This is on the top of my page 5, State versus Cortlen Henry, 19-1871 CF10A and 23.
YNW Bortlen has officially taken a plea deal. After years of speculation, he pled no contest, and in return, the state dropped both murder charges against him.
So the preforms to me look like on the 19 case, as to the 2 counts of accessory after the fact, as well as to all 4 counts, the 23 case. These are going to be adjudications, 10 years Florida State Prison, followed by, that's a 6 years probation. 6 years probation. All counts are run concurrently, all sentences run concurrently with one another. It looks like there's no restitution in the 23 case. In the 19 case, I'm reserving restitution and ordering it payable. That's going to be Terry Bagley as well as Ashley.
We've spoken to them and they don't anticipate being any restitution.
So I'll give you 148 telling you about.
They are present as well too, so our task has to go to that.
Okay.
Okay. As of today,
All right, and state, is that the complete term? That's it?
he's also going to be giving it to proffer, Your Honor.
Is that part of the negotiated resolution?
Yes.
As part of the deal, Bortlen pled no contest to accessory to a capital felony, unlawful use of a two-way device, and witness tampering. In exchange, the murder charges were dismissed. He'll also get credit for the years he's already served behind bars. One key part of this plea? Bortlen had to give the state a proffer, a sworn statement explaining what he knows. Now, a proffer isn't the same as testimony in court, but it gives prosecutors his version of events on record.
So, Mr. Henry, I'm going to put you under oath, and I'm going to ask you some questions. If I ask you something you don't understand, please let me know. I'll try to ask you a better question, okay? As loud as you can so the court reporter can get down all the answers, okay? Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? You can put your hand down. Please state your full name. How old are you? How far did you go in school? Do you read and understand the English language? Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol? Have you ever been treated for a mental illness? Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now? How are you feeling this afternoon? Your head is clear? You understand what's going on this afternoon? You understand you're resolving 2 pending felony cases this afternoon? Right. Mr. Haddad or Mr. Nascimento, have you seen or heard Mr. Henry say or do anything which would call into question in your mind whether you understand what's going on?
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Henry, it's 2 cases, sir. I'm going to go one at a time. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, this is before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state. You were charged as follows: counts 1 and 2 with murder in the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital offenses. The maximum and mandatory penalty is life in Florida State prisons. Counts 3 and 4 are accessory after the fact of murder in the first degree. Those are each first degree felonies. The maximum penalty is 30 years in Florida State prison. In case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're charged to count 1, tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida State prison. Count 2, directing the activities of criminal gang. That's a first degree felony. Again, punishable up to life in Florida State prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering. Again, as it relates to a first degree murder charge, that is punishable by a maximum penalty of life in Florida State prison. And count 7, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. As charged, that's a second degree felony. The maximum penalty is 15 years in Florida State prison. So, sir, again, before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state, your maximum exposure here was life in Florida State prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State prison. Sir, do you understand all the pending charges and the maximum possible penalties involved? And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct? Yes. And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, the terms of which are as follows. Number 1, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the 23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first degree murder cases. All right, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. Yes, sir? What's happening with that?
That would be no problem.
So he's only going to plead to the tampering with a witness in a capital felony, conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device?
Just the tampering and unlawful use.
Just count 1 and count 7.
Correct.
State, you're going to null process count 2 and count 5.
Correct.
As it relates only to Mr. Henry.
Correct.
Okay. So, Mr. Henry, what it's going to be is 2 counts of accessory after the fact, tampering with a witness in a capital felony, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. In exchange for that, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in Florida State prison. That will be followed by 6 years of reporting probation. In the unlawful use of a two-way communication device, that's a second degree felony. The maximum exposure.
It's a third degree.
It's the second as charged, I believe. It's a third, except as it relates to a capital case. But I'm happy to look it up. Well, what did you want the negotiated sentence to be for that?
That was just going to be the maximum time, sir.
5 years? Is that what you're going to do?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so, sir, as to that count, it's going to be adjudication of 5 years in Florida State prison. So the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count, those come with 6 years of reporting probation after the Department of Corrections sentence. I'll give you credit for all the time that you've served in both cases. All those counts will run concurrently. All those sentences will run concurrently. All counts in all cases, that is at the same time with each other. I'm going to have to impose mandatory court costs. I'm going to order restitution payable to Terry Bagley and payable to Ashley Phillips and reserve us to the amount. I'm going to give the state 120 days to tell me the amount of that restitution. If they fail to do so within 120 days, there will be no restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys agree on the amount, I will impose that as another condition of your sentence to pay back that restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys do not agree on the amount, I will conduct a restitution hearing. Sir, lastly, and I want to make it very clear on the record, and it's unrelated to this negotiated change of plea, I guess at some point after the fact, the state wants to take a proffer from you or have a discussion with you, ask you some questions about whatever that may be. What I want you to understand, sir, is I guess that's part of this negotiated resolution, but your answers to any of those questions, whatever they might be, have no bearing on me and have no bearing on this negotiated resolution. In other words, the deal you negotiated is the deal you negotiated, and that's the ballgame. Do you understand all that, sir? Have you had enough time to talk to your lawyers about all that? They've answered all your questions? You're sure that that's what you want to do? Because I want to emphasize, Mr. Henry, and I'm going to do this again at the end of my plea colloquy. Whether you resolve the case by way of a negotiated plea or an open plea to me, or you resolve the case by way of a trial, it doesn't matter to me at all. But due to the resources that have been devoted to this case, I have 250 jurors summoned for jury duty starting tomorrow. So I want to be very thorough with you here this afternoon, because if you wake up tomorrow or the next day and you decide you've changed your mind and you want to resolve this case, both cases, by way of a jury trial, that's not going to happen. All right? If you want to have a trial, the trial starts tomorrow. If you want to accept the deal, you can accept the deal today. But there's not going to be any buyer's remorse, in other words, because I've given you plenty of time to think about this, talk to your lawyers about it, talk to your family about it. I talked to you about it last week. Kind of looks like your lawyers probably did something or other to get a better disposition for you as of this afternoon, but this is it today. So understanding all that, you've had enough time to talk to your lawyers about all that, that's what you want to do? So, sir, has anyone forced you, threatened you, or coerced you into entering these pleas? If I accept your pleas, there will not be a trial in either one of these cases. Do you understand that? If I accept these pleas, there's a whole bunch of constitutional rights you are giving up. I want to make sure you understand all of those rights.
Even with that proffer on file, his attorney says there's no expectation that he'll testify against YNW Melly. Neither the state nor the defense plans to call him to the stand at trial, and that creates an opening. Melly's lawyers could argue that since Bortlen admitted to being an accessory, he might have played a bigger role than the state admits. Dropping the murder charges against him shifts the pressure back onto prosecutors to prove Melly was the shooter beyond a reasonable doubt. So while Bortlen's plea deal closes his case, it leaves behind a sworn statement and a defense strategy that could play directly into Melly's retrial. We'll be following it all, right here in the trial room.
Hey.
Plug talk.
You're looking at the
plug.
understand how the fuck my plug talk.
Ooh, you know I got it.
Brought to you by Daily Plug,
Yeah.